The Galactic Council chamber was silent, floating high above the core worlds. Stars burned slowly outside the massive crystal windows. Representatives from hundreds of species watched the central holotable as a single message repeated again and again. Final warning issued. The warning was not new. It had been sent 3 times before. But this time, it carried something different. A human seal. The Kairos Empire did not care. On their capital war station, the Kairos High Admiral leaned back in his throne-like command chair. His scaled fingers tapped the armrest as the human message finished playing. "Humans," he said with a sharp laugh. "The Death World primitives who still fight wars over pride." Around him, Kairos commanders laughed. Their fleets had crushed smaller races for decades. The Galactic Council always complained. The Council always warned. And nothing ever happened. This so-called warning, the Admiral continued, means nothing. The Council is weak. And humans? He waved a claw. Humans hide behind words. The order was given without hesitation. Continue the expansion. Far across the galaxy, the warning echoed in places where power was taken seriously. On Earth, deep beneath layers of steel and stone, the human strategic command watched the Kairos response in complete silence. No anger. No shouting. No threats. Just data. Admiral Wren stood at the center of the command room, hands behind his back. He watched the holomap as red markers spread across nearby systems. Civilian worlds. Mining colonies. Refuge stations. They ignored it, a junior officer said quietly. Wren nodded. As expected. No one asked what would happen next. Humanity had learned long ago that shouting into the void changed nothing. Actions did. The warning had never been a threat. It was a line. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council tried once more to pretend it still had control. Emergency sessions were called. Alien delegates argued, shouted, and blamed one another. Some demanded punishment. Others feared war. "They will provoke humanity," one elder delegate whispered. Another laughed nervously. "Humans won't act. They never do." That belief had kept the galaxy comfortable for centuries. The Kairos Empire struck next. Their fleets jumped into the Helios Reach, a system marked clearly as protected under Council law. Refuge ships scattered. Defense platforms activated, but they were old and weak. The Kairos did not slow down. Cities burned from orbit. Communications went silent one by one. A final distress signal escaped the system, weak and broken. It reached Earth. Admiral Wren watched the signal end. The room stayed quiet. "Begin Phase 1, he said calmly. Across human space, things began to change. Shipyards that had been quiet for years came alive. Massive doors opened. Ancient hulls, long hidden and upgraded in secret, powered up. Blue engines lit the darkness. Fleet commanders received sealed orders. No speeches. No public messages. Just coordinates. The Galactic Council noticed the movement too late. Human fleets were not gathering near borders. They were spreading out. Positioning. Cutting escape routes. Still, no official response came from Earth. The silence terrified those who understood humans best. On the Kairos war station, victory celebrations had already begun. The Admiral reviewed reports with satisfaction. Minimal resistance, an officer reported. Council forces retreated. The Admiral smiled. Send the next wave. That was when the sensors screamed. Multiple contacts. Hundreds. Thousands. Not Council ships. Human. The celebration ended instantly. The holodisplay filled with shapes unlike any ships the galaxy had seen before. Massive, armored, silent. They did not broadcast warnings. They did not demand surrender. They simply arrived. The admiral stared, his confidence cracking for the first time. "Open a channel," he snapped. No response. The human fleet kept moving. Back on Earth, Admiral Wren finally spoke again. "The warning was ignored," he said. "Now the price will be paid." The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The galaxy reacted the way it always did, too late. News of the human fleet's sudden appearance spread across star systems in broken whispers. Traders fled hyperlanes. Patrol fleets pulled back. Even pirates went silent. No one understood what humanity was doing, and that scared them more than open war. At the Galactic Council, panic replaced arrogance. The same chamber that once laughed at the warning was now filled with fear. Delegates argued in low voices. Some demanded immediate talks with Earth. Others suggested emergency sanctions, but no one truly believed those would matter. "They have not declared war," one delegate said nervously. "They have not even spoken." "That is the problem," another replied. "Humans only speak when they are finished preparing." Attempts were made to contact Earth. Every message went unanswered. On Earth, human strategic command remained calm. Admiral Wren walked slowly through the command hall. Giant holoscreens showed live feeds from dozens of systems. Human fleets moved like shadows, quiet, precise, unstoppable. "You will notice," Wren said to his officers, "we are not attacking yet." A commander looked confused. "Sir, the Caros are exposed. We could strike now." Wren shook his head. "No. They must understand why this is happening. Fear is a lesson best learned slowly." The human fleets adjusted positions. They cut supply routes. They blocked reinforcement corridors. Entire regions of space fell silent as communication relays were disabled without destruction. The galaxy watched in disbelief. This was not chaos. This was control. Inside Caro's territory, confusion turned into anger. The Caro's High Admiral slammed his claw onto the command console. "They are bluffing," he hissed. "No species dares challenge us directly." But his officers were no longer laughing. Reports flooded in, fuel depots unreachable, shipyards isolated, scout fleets missing without a trace. Human ships were not destroying them. They were removing them from the board. One officer finally spoke what everyone feared. "They are boxing us in." The admiral's eyes narrowed. "Then we break through." A Caros battle group was launched toward a human blockade point. Their ships were fast, heavily armed, and confident. They never fired a shot. As the Caros fleet entered the region, human vessels decloaked around them, silent and perfectly placed. Blue energy fields flared. Engines died. Weapons went dark. In less than 60 seconds, the entire Caros battle group drifted powerless. A single human message was finally transmitted. "Stand down. Return home. This is your only notice." The Caros ships were released. No damage. No pursuit. The message spread like wildfire. Humanity was not seeking destruction. They were proving dominance. The Galactic Council understood the meaning immediately. "They are enforcing the warning," an elder whispered. "Not with words, but with reality." On Earth, preparations continued. Ancient defense protocols were activated. Fleet commanders reviewed plans written centuries ago, plans meant for enemies who ignored every chance for peace. Human civilians were never told details. They did not need to be. Trust in the silent guardians of their species had been earned long ago. Admiral Wren stood before the largest holomap yet. At its center glowed the Caros capital system. "Phase 2 is ready," an officer said. Wren nodded slowly. Still no threats. Still no speeches. He paused, then added, "Let them remember the warning." Let them understand the price comes only after choice. On the Caro's capital world, fear finally replaced pride. The High Admiral stared at the sky as human ships appeared in orbit, far more than before. They did not attack. They did not move closer. They simply waited. The Admiral whispered something no Caro's leader had ever said. We should have listened. Far across the stars, the galaxy held its breath. Humanity was finished waiting. The galaxy had never seen war like this. Human fleets did not rush forward in chaos. They moved with calm purpose, like a closing fist. Around the Caro's capital system, space itself felt trapped. Jump lanes collapsed under human control fields. Long-range sensors went blind. The Caro's High Admiral stood frozen on the command deck, watching the impossible. Open fire, he ordered, his voice sharp with fear. Caro's battleships unleashed everything they had. Plasma storms, kinetic rounds, energy lances, enough firepower to erase cities. The human ships did not fall. Blue shields absorbed the attacks like rain on stone. Some shots were redirected. Others simply vanished. The human fleet did not answer right away. That silence broke the Caro's spirit more than explosions ever could. Then humanity responded. A single human dreadnought moved forward. It was larger than any Caro's warship. Its hull was dark, scarred, and layered with ancient armor plates. No banners. No markings of pride. Only purpose. A calm human voice echoed across every open channel. This action is enforcement. Nothing more. Human weapons fired, not wildly, but with precision. Caro's command ships lost power first. Communication arrays vanished in clean bursts of light. Weapon systems shut down before they could recharge. Entire fleets went dark without being destroyed. The galaxy watched in horror and awe. They are disabling us, a Caro's officer screamed. Not killing us. That truth was worse. Humanity was proving that survival itself was a gift. The Caro's tried one final desperate move. A hidden fleet jumped in from the far side of the system, aiming straight for the human command ship. They never reached it. Human escorts turned as one. Space bent. Time seemed to slow. The hidden fleet was caught in a storm of controlled gravity fields. Ships twisted, collided, and fell silent. No escape. The High Admiral collapsed into his chair. This is not war, he whispered. This is judgment. Across the galaxy, fear spread fast. Worlds that had once ignored the Council's warnings now replayed the human message again and again. Enforcement. The word burned itself into every language. At the Galactic Council, no one spoke. They had no power here. No control. Humanity had taken responsibility the Council had failed to carry. On Earth, Admiral Wren watched the battle feed with cold focus. Casualties? He asked. Minimal, an officer replied. Mostly systems disabled. Enemy military power is collapsing. Wren nodded. Proceed. Human forces pushed inward, surrounding the Caro's capital world. Defense platforms powered up, but human ships shut them down before they could fire. Cities below looked up at a sky filled with silent giants. No bombs fell. That mercy terrified them more than destruction. A final message was sent from the Caro's High Admiral, his voice broken. We surrender. We will obey the Council. We will obey humanity. Just stop. The message was received. Human ships did not answer right away. They waited. Then Admiral Wren spoke one final order. Begin dismantlement. Shipyards were seized. Military factories shut down. War fleets were locked in place, permanently disabled. The Caro's empire was defeated without being destroyed. The galaxy understood the lesson. Ignoring a warning was a choice. Humanity made sure the price was unforgettable. Far above the Karos world, the human fleet remained silent, watching. The judgment was not finished yet. The surrender of the Karos Empire did not bring peace. It brought fear. Across the galaxy, leaders watched the human fleet remain in orbit above the Karos capital world. No explosions. No celebrations. Just silence. That silence felt heavier than war. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. They have surrendered, one delegate said. The humans should leave now. No one answered. Another delegate whispered, humans do not leave lessons unfinished. On the Karos capital world, millions waited. Military officers stood powerless. Their ships were locked, their weapons dead. The High Admiral had not slept since the surrender. He stared at the sky, knowing the future of his people was being decided somewhere far above. Inside the human command ship, Admiral Wren listened to reports. Enemy fleets disabled, an officer said. Shipyard secured. War AI systems dismantled. Wren nodded slowly. We are not here to destroy a world, he said. We are here to end a threat. Human ground teams landed, not as conquerors, but as inspectors. They walked through massive Karos military cities, recording everything. Weapon labs. Prison camps. Battle plans targeting weak worlds. Every crime was documented. Every law they broke was logged. The Galactic Council received the data in real time. Screens filled with proof. Burned colonies. Slaughtered civilians. Broken treaties. Silence fell over the chamber. They were warned, an elder said quietly. Yes, another replied. And they chose power over mercy. The council voted. For the first time in history, the council did not lead the judgment. They accepted it. A message was sent to the human fleet. The council will not interfere. Above the Karos world, the human fleet finally moved. Not closer. Higher. Massive devices unfolded from human ships, structures never shown before. They activated slowly, their energy field spreading across the system. Karos scientists watched in terror. They are not attacking the planet, one whispered. They are rewriting our future. The human devices shut down every advanced military system on the planet permanently. Shipyards became useless. Weapon factories turned silent. Even the knowledge networks that designed weapons were locked behind human codes. The Karos could no longer make war. The High Admiral fell to his knees. Our empire is finished. Yes, a human envoy replied calmly. Your people are not. A final broadcast went out across the galaxy. Admiral Wren's voice was calm, steady, and clear. This judgment is not revenge. It is prevention. We warned you. You ignored it. The price is not death. The price is never being a threat again. Across hundreds of worlds, leaders listened in silence. Some felt relief. Others felt terror. The age of empty warnings was over. The human fleet began to withdraw. But one final message remained. The galaxy would remember it forever. The human fleet left the Karos system in silence. No victory message. No celebration. No claim of power. And yet, the galaxy knew something had ended forever. On the Karos capital world, the skies were clear again. Life continued, but nothing felt the same. Their cities still stood. Their people still lived. But their empire, once feared across the stars, was gone. They could no longer threaten anyone. The High Admiral stood before his people for the last time. His voice was low, heavy with regret. We were warned, he said. We laughed. We believed power made us untouchable. He looked up at the stars. We were wrong. Across the galaxy, worlds that once lived in fear began to breathe again. Trade routes reopened. Refuge colonies received aid. For the first time in centuries, smaller species felt protected, not by the Galactic Council, but by something far stronger. Consequences. The Galactic Council changed its laws. No longer were warnings empty words. From that day forward, every warning carried a single unspoken truth. If humanity speaks, it is already serious. Council records were updated. Human protocols were added as final enforcement measures. Some delegates felt shame. Others felt relief. One elder said quietly, "We failed to protect the weak." Humanity did not. On Earth, life went on as normal. Cities were calm. Children played. No one celebrated the fall of an empire. Humanity did not see itself as heroes or rulers. They saw themselves as guardians. Admiral Wren submitted his final report. One line stood out among thousands of details. Warning issued. Warning ignored. Threat removed. A junior officer asked him, "Sir, will the galaxy fear us now?" Wren thought for a moment. "They already did," he replied. "The difference is, now they understand us." Years later, new civilizations would study the Kairos incident in history archives. They would replay the warning again and again. Scholars would debate it. Leaders would argue about it. But no one ever ignored it again. Because the lesson was clear. Humanity does not rush to war. Humanity does not shout. Humanity does not threaten twice. They warn once. And when that warning is dismissed, the price is paid in full. Far out in deep space, human fleets continued their quiet patrols, unseen but always present. The galaxy slept easier knowing one simple truth. The warning would never be empty again.